Hari Om to all the Atmajyotis, divine light of the self, and Hari Om to Sadguru Sri Prabhuji. Today, I would like to dwell on the topic Dharma, Karma, and beyond. A little bit of the spiritual journey I dare assume that we have all been through to be listening to this talk. So, we will be covering the dynamic nature of Dharma and Karma, and the dynamic nature of our own understanding of what is Dharma and what is Karma, and ultimately what lies beyond both. So a couple of years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I came across a very interesting book called Many Mansions. The author is Edgar Cayce. He's an early 20th century mystic from America. It's a masterful exposition on the karma theory and karma yoga. I didn't realize it back then, that it was all about how karma can be converted to karma yoga. I realize it a lot more now. But this book left a deep impact on me. Why? Because of its opening statement. It stuck in my head. The opening statement says, man is born, he suffers, and he dies. Man is born, he suffers, and he dies. And it made it sound as if it's the biography of each and every human being on earth. It was shocking. And I was very indignant. Is that all it is? Is this the meaning of life? I'm just born and I suffer and I die? That's not me. Maybe it's true for a mosquito. It is born and it suffers and it dies, or a cockroach, or some other, lower being than me. I'm a superior being. I'm a human being. There's much more to my life than just being born and suffering and dying. So that was the triggering point of the questions that one tends to ask in life. So this understanding is what keeps changing and getting better as we move along the path of life at every stage, right? So this questioning of what I am, who I am, is actually very innate to a human being. How? Remember, as children, all of us must have asked some existential questions like, why was I born? You see, even now today, a child will ask, Amma, why was I born? How was I born? Where did I come from? And then how did grandpa become a star? When we tell if an elder passes away, how did so-and-so become a star? And how is the sky standing up all by itself? So beautiful questions, right? And then if nothing ever existed, what would there be? These are the kind of questions. And if we were a Dhruva or a Nachiketa, probably would have straight away gone to, understanding the answers to these questions there and then, at that stage. But no, we have a long scenic route that we take before we come to answer these questions. And then, while we started with these beautiful questions as children, as we grow up, society forces us to come down to earth. And how Prabhuji calls, we all become society babies. We are on more solid ground. And then we asked, we have these kind of aspirations. What do you want to become? I want to become a teacher. I want to become a pilot. These are the regular kind of answers that we get from children. I want to become an astronaut. So society and education, they gear us for a competitive world. And at that stage of life, our only dharma is to excel in whatever we are doing, to get high marks, and to develop a killer instinct, to become either a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer or a software, entrepreneur, whatever, lots of choices. These days, the choices are varied, and we are encouraged and groomed by society, by our parents and families and the school education system to excel in our line of the choice of a profession that we want to take. This is a dharma we follow in our life. Then dharma is to excel in whatever we take up. And then there is something called Swadharma, which as a youngster, I was not, we were not very tuned to that Swadharma. We were either forced to go into either of the two professions, engineer or doctor, or just plain BSc, go into a bank, become a clerk or whatever it is. But now this Swadharma, the innate talents that a child has, that a child exhibits, is given prominence and it's encouraged. And there are a lot of choices for children to pursue, youngsters to pursue, and also a lot of opportunities in society for an artist or a musician, a singer, I want to play the guitar all my life. Okay, go do it. And I want to do sports. I want to excel in some activity, running, athletics, everything. I even have a friend whose child pursued golf, and become a golf, professional. All these opportunities are opening up in society. So while that is Swadharma, even at this stage, the only dharma at this stage of life, or the most prominent dharma at this stage of an youngster's life, is again, number one, to excel. Number two, to create wealth. Very important. It's not just enough to be singing. You should also be earning while you're doing what you want or what you do. So creation of wealth is a very big dharma. And if we are lucky, and if we have been brought up with a beautiful family with good values, we also learn to lead an ethical and moral life, and we loosely follow the three purusharthas. Though I might not know what they actually are, we pursue artha and kama with dharma, because we have brought up in a ethical and moral lifestyle by with our purva punya. Our parents have given that. However, as we pursue our interest in life in an ethical and moral manner and create some degree of wealth, some degree of satisfaction, yet we feel there is something missing. There is a frustration. The world does not give me happiness. The more I pursue my interest, the more I pursue kama, the desire, whatever I desire in life, I realize that it can never be fulfilled. It's like the Rakta Bijasura. I fulfill one desire, well, another crops up. I fulfill one need, whereas another crops up. No matter how much I do, no matter what I do, I'm dissatisfied. I'm not satisfied. I cannot find that happiness. And whatever I do, my family, my children, my house, my profession, my social life, everything is a work in progress. I just cannot settle down. Everything needs constant attention, and constantly I need to work towards it. There is no full stop. And more importantly, I discover that all happiness is conditional and momentary. Whatever happiness I get, whatever desire I fulfill, is momentary. And it's conditional. It takes a lot of effort. Isn't it? All our experiences point to this. And then again, if we are lucky, our elders will give us the right inputs while we are still young. And we understand that it is not just enough to acquire. It's very important to give as well. Self-centeredness has got a very limited value. It is not in being exclusive, but being inclusive, which gives us more happiness. That also comes from good inputs, good purva punya, and beautiful upbringing by our families. So, and if we are really very lucky, we get into a Veda class, right? And we start understanding these beautiful nuances of how to lead life in a proper manner, because Sanatana Dharma has got excellent bullet points on how to lead life. A dharmic, beautiful life, which is very fulfilling as well. All these are given in the Shastras, our scriptures, all the Vedas tell us how to go about that. And so we start understanding this dharma and karma more clearly. We start understanding that dharma is nothing but the universal order. And then in the universal order, everything is contributing. And I too, as an entity who is part of the universe, I too have to contribute to keep that dharma going. To give is to receive. And hence, I come across the concept or the very beautiful system of the Pancha Yagnas. I come to understand there is the Rishi Yagna, the Deva Yagna, the Pitru Yagna, the Manusha Yagna, the Bhuta Yagna. I'm sure all of us are quite familiar by now with all these terminologies. And in our own capacities, we also contribute to the world around us to maintain some beautiful dharma, some law, some order. And the more and more the concept of dharma gets solidified, the bigger picture comes to mind. And what do we learn? The Veda Mata tells us very, very clearly. For example, in the Taittiriya, it says, Satyam vada, dharmam chara. Speak the truth. Do your duty. It's not a choice. It is a commandment. It is my dharma. I have no choice. I should not be swerving from this path of Satyam vada, dharmam chara. Satyan pramaditavyam. Never err from speaking the truth. Dharman pramaditavyam. Never fail to do your duty. Kushalan pramaditavyam. Never overlook your own welfare. Vedamata is very kind. She says, no. I'm not asking you to do everything only for society. Take care of yourself as well, because only if I'm all right, I'll be able to contribute better to society. Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam nah pramaditavyam. Next, never neglect your own prosperity and never neglect the study of the Vedas and its propagation. Swadhyaya is being recommended by the Veda Mata. Deva Pitrukara Karyabhyam nah pramaditavyam. Never swerve from your duties towards the gods. What are the gods? The Devatas, the Panchabhutas, and our the sense organs, which are powered by the Devatas. Take care of them. Be grateful to them, and offer your gratitude to them. And Pitru, take care of your departed souls, because without them you wouldn't be here. Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Athithi Devo Bhava. Look at everyone and everybody as Ishvara himself, Bhagavan himself, God himself. It is God who is coming in front of you, especially as your parents and your guru and the Atithi who walks into your house. It is nothing but none else than God. So all these inputs, what do? They make our minds purer and purer. They make our actions also purer and purer. And one does feel a degree of peace as we accept these teachings and start living those beautiful commandments given in the Vedas and the elders. But no matter how dharmic I am, life has a way of corrupting my pure intentions. I live an ethical and moral life, but my neighbor doesn't. And my neighbor throws garbage in front of my house. My neighbor plays loud music. It doesn't care for my sleeping hours. And everyone on the road seems to overtake me from the right-hand side on a two-way street. It doesn't pay to be dharmic, I tell you. The world is a mean place. And at my workplace, don't even ask. Everybody walks all over me. I'm a foot rug. I'm a footmat. I'm good at my job, but somebody else gets a promotion because he or she has got a better way with the boss or something like that. There is a lot of favoritism. There's a lot of bias. There is a lot of unfairness in the world. This feeling becomes solidified when I don't see the rewards coming for my apparently dharmic actions. My goodness is being, it's taken for granted by society and it's not being rewarded. And then, if I'm lucky, if I have a lot of Purva Punya, I come to a Bhagavad Gita class. And I hear that most beautiful and oft-stated shloka, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You just do your duty. Don't worry about the result. It's in my hands, says Krishna. Whether I need to reward you or, I will delay your reward, or I will deny you the reward, it's left to me. You just do your duty the way it has been told in the Shastras. That is what Sri Krishna says. And the concept of how doing your work as a yajna comes, it's an offering. Whatever I put into a yajna, a sacrificial fire, just get burnt, there's nothing left. So that is how one has to do the karma, that nothing is left. There is no traces of the doer itself, though it's a huge concept to understand. The yajna bhava has to come into me. Only then I'll be able to tolerate the unfairness of the world around me. And probably these teachings have a little impact on me. And now I don't mind too much when somebody overtakes me on the right-hand side or then I've learned to say, okay, this is enough, no problem. And then life will sail along smoothly for some time. And I become more and more Satwik. We become more Satwik. We do good to society, and we nod our heads in understanding with our own problems or the problems with the world, and we offer solutions. All that, we understand. We are kind while judging the other person. We say, oh, prakrute kriyamanani. All the sattva, rajas, tamas is those gunas which are acting in this person, and that is what makes this person behave in such a manner. All very well, but it's kind of hard to follow. Not all the time can I apply this beautiful knowledge while dealing with the world. Why? Ask a housewife, how frustrated homemaker, how frustrated she feels. No salary, no appreciation, no gratitude. And the husband also feels the same. The child also feels the same. And then the maid also is not happy with me. Sometimes this karmanyavadikaraste also, does not give me, it does not give all of us the same kind of satisfaction that one expects from life. Why does this happen? Because the knowledge is still half-cooked, half-baked, and the application is still not perfect. The application is still wrong. And so, I would say, if we are lucky, and if we have enormous Purva Punya, life will not sail along smoothly. We are still frustrated. We are still angry. We are still looking for answers. And the dissatisfaction and the frustration will creep in again. And especially some calamity on a personal or a local or a global level, when a calamity happens like COVID, like the Ukraine war, like a mass calamity happens, you feel like questioning God. Where are you? Are you blind? Can't you see what's happening? Why do you do this? All these problems, all these questions will come to us in a natural manner. When these questions crop up, the real journey of life begins. Aha, says the Veda Mata. Now we have learned how to live a dharmic life. Now you come to Vedanta. That is the last teaching of the Vedas. What does the last teaching of the Vedas give me? It gives us Atmajyoti. Understand your own real nature. That is the crux of Vedanta. And by this time, if we are all pursuing with the Bhagavad Gita class, we come to the last chapter of the Gita. And there also Lord Krishna says, he says, okay, you are now ripe and ready for the ultimate teaching. What is that? He says, he spells out the real purpose of human birth. And he says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishvami mashuchaha. Leave aside all dharmas. Parityajya. Leave aside all dharmas. Mamekam sharanam vraja. You dedicate yourself only unto me. Me means what? Understand me and understand that you and I are the same. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. In which case, when you do that, I will forgive all the papas. Not forgive. I will take you beyond all your papas, all your all the sins that you have committed. What is the sin that you have committed? Now, this is what is the real, this has to trigger these questions in me. What is this Sarva Dharman Parityaja? You mean all that ethical and moral life that I was pursuing is a waste of time? Shouldn't I be doing this at all? Is all the purusharthas that I was taught, dharma, artha, kama, are they all a waste of time? And what is this sarva papa? I thought I was not sinning. I thought I was doing good things. What does Krishna mean when he says sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami? And then at this stage, the Sadguru, Krishna, tells that your one single papa, the one mistake that you have done is taking yourself to meet the limited identity of the body, mind, and intellect. The limited identity of DMI is your greatest sin. All the papas start from that limited identity of body, mind, complex. That is the first papa. From then, all the other papas are committed. No matter how beautifully you live your life, how you might get a Nobel Peace Prize, for peace, yet you are still not out of the clutches of samsara. I'm still operating in the realm of samsara, which is subject to cause and effect, unrelenting cause and effect, papa punya, punarapi janam, punarapi mara. Isn't it? So now, and sarva dharman parityaja, and here I understand that there is only one purushartha. There are no four purusharthas. There is no dharma, artha, kama, moksha. There is only moksha that one should pursue in life. That is the main purpose of human existence. This is what Krishna tells us in this 18th chapter of the Gita. There is only one purushartha. Just pursue moksha. You just leave all other dharmas behind and pursue only purushartha. Only this purushartha of moksha. That is the purpose of human life. Then only I can change the biography of human life from man is born, he suffers, and he lives, and he dies. That was the opening statement. I can change that to man is born, he realizes, he learns, and he becomes a Jivan Mukta. That is how one should turn a purposeless life into a purposeful life. All other purusharthas are mere distractions. One would say one has wasted one's life in pursuing all other purusharthas, because we have always been operating in this world of dreams and illusions. It's a Maya world. By this time, we have understood the concept of Maya and how we have been operating in this Maya world, which is bound by several limitations, isn't it? So that is why even the happiness that we feel is very limited. The results are very limited. No matter whether you're a prince or a pauper, at my stage, one is always feels unsatisfied, dissatisfied, and limited. And so, all the while we have been trying to fight with the ghost, finding solution to the ghost which is haunting me in my dream, which is never possible. The only solution is to wake up from the dream. And so, when are we ready to wake up from the dream? That is the time when the Sadguru enters our life and tells us, it's perfectly all right. No, you haven't wasted your life. All the things that you have done, the dharma and the karma and all the things that you have followed in your life were actually not distraction, but they are actually foundations for a spiritual life. Now you're ready to listen to my teachings because your mind has been purified by all the dharmic actions that you have done, the virtuous life that you have led. And now you're ready to receive the ultimate teaching of the Vedanta of the Sadguru, which is Atmajnana. Atmajnana is learning what my real nature is. You have done some puja, you have done some tapas, you have done some dhyana, you have some karma yoga, some charity, and now you are ready. Come here, sit with me and listen to the ultimate teaching, which is Nanu nanembudu nanalla, ideha manabuddhi nanalla, Sachidanandatma Shivananu nani, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. That is the teaching given by our Sadguru, Sri Prabhuji. And he takes us right back with Krishna, takes us right back to the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. This shloka which says, Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha. Of the transient, there is no endurance. Asat has no endurance. What is Asat? The whole Jagat is Asat. It has no endurance. It keeps changing. Na bhavo vidyate sataha. What is Sat? What is eternal? It never changes. And what is that? That is pure consciousness, Shivoham, of the eternal. There is no cessation. This beautiful verse, which came right in the second chapter of the Gita, I wouldn't have understood until I come to the last chapter, until I come to the Sadguru, and then I go back and understand this is what was being said by Lord Krishna in the very beginning of the Gita. I wouldn't have understood, but for the chapters that follow later, Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, they were all paths to this final ultimate knowledge, which I'm now able to understand a little better thanks to the process of purification that one has gone through. So, to conclude, the only dharma of human life, the purpose of human birth, is to find the real nature. Nanu nanembudu nanalla shivoham. We are extremely fortunate to be guided by Sri Prabhuji in this path of self-realization, in this path of dharma, of dharma, karma, and beyond. And so, okay, what next? Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana. How beautiful can life get? Listen to the teachings of the Guru. Contemplate on the teachings of the Guru. And let that whole beautiful knowledge sink in and settle in my life, in every thought, word, and action that I may undertake. Hari Om, Shri Sadguru Charanarpanamastu.